Well, it shows.
Pretty cool. I've been on this.
Show people in there.
It's pretty
and
cool.
Here's where it should show.
And we stay in our time share, which is way
I'll start video.
on the south one.
Can we hit start video and just start it? Let me just make sure. So it's paused. It's paused out for a minute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Brian Church has contacted us and has a few gaps. So Sue? Here. Jason? Here. Christine? Here. David? Here. Steve? Here. And myself. Any additions, deletion to the agenda? Staff. Anyone have a conflict of interest of any business that may take place at this pension board meeting? No. Any correspondence? None from staff. Yes, or presentations? And one scheduled if you're hiding something. Treasurer's report.
I have a couple things. Page 12. We're 73% to goal, which is 2,588,000 for future payments for pensioners. Last year, our goal was 65.93%. So getting better. That's good. Page 24. Oh yeah, 24. We over contributed in 2021 by $10,645. That's what that shows. And then page 38.
Over contributed.
It was just the way that it landed in. So the state match contribution, I think, landed in January in 2021. As opposed to where it's often hits mid-December, late December. So I think it just landed in January.
Good explanation. Okay.
And that makes also that it did get contributed for the previous year. It just went over.
Yeah.
And then I have a note for page 38, which is our September report. Yeah, we're not looking good. We're losing money mostly because of unrealized losses. I printed out the same report in 2021, and we gained 181,000 versus this one we lost 237,000.
Yeah, the markets.
Yeah.
The markets were that's the difference is the market.
Unrealized gain is the market. What do we have these in? Are they stocks, mutual funds?
It's not us, it's
It's not
FPA.
FPA. There's
Wait, what do they have it in?
there's a mix that they're required to put it in by law. So it's whatever they.
I know you on their website, look at that.
Yeah, you can go in and see the mix. There's only about 4 different places they can put it
Got it.
by law.
Oh, okay.
And we can't change it. We can't adjust. We can do nothing. And that's pretty similar to the figures we saw during the last. Yeah, they were. Crash. We recovered from it.
Okay, can we put it in something else because you can get more interest in putting it in the bank?
If we're running it, if we're gonna be on the FPPA, they administer the
Right,
program.
can we take it out of FFPA
I don't think it'll take out.
No,
and put it in a bank and get at least more than you subtract?
There, by statute, there are only certain places you can invest your money.
Even on our own.
And yeah, on our own, we could take it out and invest it. But you can't put it in the stock market, you can't put it in the bank. There are defined,
Which would be very similar to what a PPA is investing in right now.
Right.
So,
You can put in the bank for interest,
Nope.
more than losing money.
so it's not-
I think you need to look at the, like, I would go back and look at the 10-year FPA thing. I mean, it would give you more adequate. And I know.
and if you did do that, you would obviously lose their matching fund plus the cost of administration is of what they charge is much less than what we would do ourselves. We'd have to hire somebody to administer. It's not really an option in my opinion, but at this point, so.
That's all I've got. Just the highlights of, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the treasurer? Okay, moving right along, pension board business. Item number 1 is the meeting minutes from September of 2022. If there are no additions or deletions or corrections to the minutes from September 2022, I motion that we approve such minutes as presented.
second,
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Election appointment update for pension board.
Okay, so just kind of a report from staff with Director Meyer's election and to the board, that opened the seat up with that opening. Board voted and then he was appointed to that. Through the articles, as it talks about 2-year terms, alternating terms for positions. But it doesn't direct specifically in our bylaws about filling for a portion of a term. So just the question is up about if we're in alternating terms, as I look through all of the minutes from previous meetings and trying to find out sort of the election process where you were elected, which term were you filling, a 2-year term or a 1-year term, or was Brian filling a 1-year term? And so we're really having to look at historically where we stand now as far as when another term is up and then whose term that would be up for election, and then the process for doing it. Because although we talk about a 2-year term, we don't specifically designate in the bylaws when a term actually starts or ends.
okay, so
We're kind of going by recollection here and figure out where we should go and what the board wants to do as far as the term.
elected,
And just around this time last year.
you were elected in 21 for a 2-year term, so that would have been 22, 23. So, Turf's term would have been 21, 22, and he's up for election this year. Oh, you were on for a year though.
No,
No,
and that's what
no.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like that's what I was trying to remember. I was trying to find all the results, but it wasn't recorded in minutes, so it happens kind of in between meetings, so I know when that actually
Okay,
started, so it would have been
You were-
what seemed like all of
you were
22.
elected. The ballots go out in December. You would have been elected December, January, and your first meeting would have been March.
And that's what it looked like. The first meeting, a meeting was in March, and then it
Right.
just didn't record specifically that this was the first meeting.
Right. So, yeah, your term would have been 22, 23. And So at the June meeting, because he had been elected to the board, I was appointed. So
Yeah.
the way I see it is there's a 2-year term up for election and there's a 1-year term for the position that I'm currently in. Since I was appointed, this position needs to be elected for a 1-year term.
Well, it just doesn't say that in the bylaws. It doesn't address
Doesn't address if
somebody's filled in, how long that is, whether it's the remainder of the term or until another election. So that's really where it would be open to the board to make a.
Well, I think
Make a
we just always did it the same way that a board, if it was a regular board member, works, and they just complete the term of the person that they're filling their position. Right?
Well, I thought if you appointed someone, then that position had to be elected at the next election.
That's
But-
typically how it works.
So it's, since it's not specifically outlined, and it seems like we are in a place now where we need to put ballots out now for these filling members' first term, which will be a 2-year term.
Right.
We'll be able to board to decide what action they want to take for the current position. So
So I would propose that there's an election for both positions, but that's just my.
It's been pointed out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
put you in one.
Think of that email bylaws so we can remember.
So I think, yeah, so for now, we could do, step one would be, want to do a motion for how to handle the pending election.
So, excuse me. I'll move that the election for pension board be for a 2-year position and a 1-year position. And that election will take place within.
Motion.
All those in favor of the motion as presented,
Aye.
opposed? Clear on that then? Pensioner roster review discussion. So where are we going?
Just for, close out of the year, that's the, just reviewing again who we have on our two roles, and then, going through this, last year we'll use this information to then send everything out for the election piece. And then if there's any other, issues with who we have listed on the roll from the board, we had, one new entrant, earlier this year into the retiree volunteer retirees. Yes.
So what are we doing? We're looking at over.
Yeah, so the idea is really that we have an obligation just to make sure that we do the reporting if somebody, we know that somebody's passed away or that somebody is no longer a spouse that would be otherwise for benefits. That's what we should be getting that. We're remarried, already those things, and then typically just how often we reach out to all the members to be that they to report back if there's change in status on their eligibility to actually receive pension.
So how often do we do that, you said?
It looks like we've done it sort of the end of each year. We've done kind of a review of who we have on there. And if there's any questions about anything, then any direction to staff to reach out to anybody from their eligibility.
But they're gonna send something back and we haven't received that yet.
We haven't sent any, we didn't send anything out this year, so we're gonna send out, we will be sending out the ballots now for the pool. So, I think what we did last year along with that was kind of an address update change, just a confirmation of, and then we also utilized was anything that returned back that that they didn't get either via the email or the postal service mail that used to another effort sent to contact them to make sure that they were still active, eligible for that.
And my recommendation is that where we've always ended up every year, on Morris due, you'll be sending it to his wife. And, I would send it, return receipt.
Okay.
Might as well just do it right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut back otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, so, what it looks like is then we will be doing mailing for the self-nomination for the election portion, and then, include a verification update. In that same.
I have a question. Member Church is,
He's on the active list, so he just.
so they also get a ballot active as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any of them could sit on that.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
So then you'll just update us at the next commission meeting if what you found out.
Yeah, if there's any change.
Anybody have any other questions or comments? With that? Moving on to other, anybody have any other questions or comments pertaining to the pension board?
You could look at, and I kind of have it in weird order, but not anybody else, that the future meetings, on the last year's, we had, just looking at the last year's agenda, there was the to determine if needed January meeting. I don't know why we didn't hold one, and I don't know why there would be, so I just had that on there.
You know, I saw that when I was
Yeah.
going back through the minutes. And I don't know
Yeah,
what
we
I
did.
was
Okay.
doing.
And just from the process of the election piece, that we would send that out. The ballots go out with an envelope to return that back in. We hold on to those, and then together we designate a time that we're gonna open those. It doesn't have to be, and it hasn't historically been at a meeting as a part of the meeting. We do that just as a witness count and then make notification of that. So, the board is amicable, strike the January unless there's a need. So the dates that you see on there would fall in alignment with the way the bylaws tie in as the first last meeting of each quarter, which would be the same date every year. That's all it's set. That's okay.
Anyone else? If no further business, I motion that we adjourn the pension board meeting for December 14th, 2022 at 4:20. Do I have a second? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Messing with me. Yeah, yeah. Take just a minute.